Gig workers feel the sting of gas prices. Your news update, and we talk savings on this edition of State of the Band's Weekend, starting right now. Hello and welcome to Arbitrage Weekend for June 25th, 2022. I'm Joshua Stark. Millions of Americans who rely on their cars for work are changing their habits, signing up for carpools, or even ditching their cars for bicycles as gas prices hit nearly $5 per gallon. For the first time ever. This week it's averaging $4.95 per gallon nationwide, up from $3.06 per gallon a year ago. According to the AAA, on Wednesday, President Biden asked Congress to suspend federal gas taxes for 3 months, which would shave 18.4 cents per gallon off the price of gas. He also called on states to suspend their own gas taxes. Biden's push faces uphill odds in Congress. In the meantime, gas is straining budgets. Federal health officials on Thursday ordered Juul to pull its electronic cigarettes from the U.S. market, the latest blow to the embattled company, widely blamed for sparking a national surge in teen vaping. The action is part of a sweeping effort by the Food and Drug Administration to bring scientific scrutiny to the multi-billion-dollar vaping industry after years of regulatory delays. The FDA said Juul must stop selling its vaping device and its tobacco and menthol-flavored cartridges. Those already on the market must be removed. Consumers aren't restricted from having or using Juul's products, the agency said. To stay on the market, companies must show that their e-cigarettes benefit public health. Amazon's Alexa might soon replicate the voice of family members, even if they're dead. The capability unveiled at Amazon's conference in Las Vegas is in development and would allow the virtual assistant to mimic the voice of a specific person based on less than a minute of provided recording. Rahit Prasad, Senior Vice President and Head Scientist for Alexa, said at the event Wednesday that the desire behind the feature was to build greater trust in the interactions users have with Alexa by putting more human attributes of empathy and affect. These attributes have become even more important during the ongoing pandemic when so many of us have lost ones that we love, Prasad said. While AI can't eliminate that pain of loss, it can definitely make their memories last. Ohio State University has won its fight to trademark the word "the." The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office approved the university's request Tuesday. The school says it allows Ohio State to control use of "the" on branded products associated with and sold through athletics and collegiate channels such as t-shirts, baseball caps, and hats. "The" has been a rallying cry in the Ohio State community for many years, and Buckeye fans who purchase official Ohio State gear support student scholarships, libraries, and other university initiatives, said Ben Johnson, the university's Senior Director of Media and Public Relations. He noted the university's licensing and trademark program generates over $12.5 million a year in revenue, which helps fund student scholarships and university programs. News and more next on the Arbitrage State of the Band's Weekend. Sorry, I've just got to call our lawyers to make sure I can still use the word "the." More next.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This week's State of the Bands blog includes Sweet Dreams Are Made of Sleep. Who knew? Apple talks unions, and Royce and I talk adult toys. Stop, this is a family show. All this and more in this week's State of the Bands blog, available now at arbitragetrade.com. Now let's go to the president and CEO of Arbitrage, Mr. Royce Wells, for more. Royce, you're a jet setter this week.
Yes, lots and lots of travel.
Been having some fun, have we?
Oh yeah, over 1,200 flights canceled this week. It was a lot of fun. Lots of zombies roaming the airports trying to get new flights at short notices. So yeah, good time.
Good
Lots
times.
of sleeping in chairs that are not meant for people to sleep in.
Speaking of sleep, do you twitch when you go to sleep?
Oh yeah. Especially when I don't get enough.
See, now I do that as well. You know, I'll have one of those start to sleep twitches where I'm falling asleep and all of a sudden I go, you know, and it's like, you know, you have to start all over.
Oh yeah, not sleep apnea where your body goes, wait, you're not breathing too, or just is it a cross between me?
No.
'Cause I know people have sleep apnea, and it's like they stop breathing for 30, 45 seconds, and their body goes, wait, air, we need air.
We need air. That's right. So spasming is not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of one of those things where your appliance is not broken. It just happens that way. You know, it's like we have an involuntary muscle spasm in a restful state. And the thing is that it's not really pinpointed what happens here, but nearly 60 to 70% of people have experienced these spasms as they go to sleep. Now, there are clear causes. For example, too much caffeine before bed.
Sacrilege.
You know, or having a bedtime smoke, nicotine, you know.
Yeah, I could see that.
Sometimes it's a direct result of unmanaged stress and anxiety. Royce?
Have you seen the market correcting?
Yeah, I was about to say we
okay.
wouldn't have anything to do about that. Also, an active brain and sleep deprivation, inconsistent sleeping cycles. So
I feel attacked.
Yeah, right. Right. So there's a couple of things that you can do to avoid these things or to lessen the chance of having a spasm. Number one is avoiding stimulants, right? That Starbucks Frappuccino right there before bed, probably a bad idea.
They have Oreo cookie crumble now on it too.
Let's not do that.
Oh.
Let's not do that. Hormonal supplements, turn down the light. Lots of things can interrupt the sleep cycle, like having too much light. I usually kept the TV on, which is something that I don't do anymore because of this.
This sounds like an intervention. I'm out.
You know, for both of us. This is an Ari article. Maybe she's trying to tell us something.
Yeah. Hey, but have you ever done the opposite of that, though? Woken up and can't move? I heard that people wake up paralyzed.
That's freaky, Royce. Also, the thing of nightmares. I don't think I want to think about that anymore.
Yeah.
That's kind of freaky. Let's
One,
not do
two,
that.
Freddy's coming for you.
But as long as you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, you should be able to minimize those things. Otherwise, you could cause high blood pressure, stroke, heart disease, and obesity. More after this.
That was sure.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The historic vote by employees of a Maryland Apple store to unionize, the first for the technology giant, is a significant step in a lengthy process that labor experts say is heavily stacked against workers in favor of their employers. Apple store employees in a Baltimore suburb voted to unionize by a nearly 2-to-1 margin Saturday, joining a growing push across U.S. retail, service, and tech industries to organize for greater workplace protections. It's not yet clear whether the recent wave of unionizations represent a broader shift in U.S. labor, but experts say the current shortage of workers for hourly and low-wage jobs means employees have more power than they had historically, especially when unemployment is low. It's not that big a deal to lose one of these jobs because you can get another crummy job, said Ruth Milkman, labor scholar at the City University at New York. The question is, what happens now? The Apple retail workers in Towson, Maryland voted 65-33 to seek entry into the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, the union's announcement said. The National Labor Relations Board now has to certify the outcome. A spokesperson referred initial inquiries about the vote to the board's regional office, which was closed late Saturday. Once the vote is certified, the union and Apple can begin negotiating a contract. Labor law in the United States is a long process, and so the fact that a single store negotiates or elects a union doesn't mean that there's a negotiated contract in the workplace. And we know in recent history that many of these situations, parties are not able to come to terms on an initial contract. Michael Duff, a former NLRB lawyer and professor at University of Wyoming College of Law, said Sunday, "The employer in the United States has an awful lot of rights to simply withdraw recognition at the end of the process. The employer can prove that it no longer supports a majority of employees in the bargaining unit," Duff added. Even after a union is certified, a company has a number of legal maneuvers at its disposal to fight it, Duff said. For instance, Apple could say it doesn't believe that the bargaining unit certified by the NLRB is an appropriate bargaining unit and refuse to bargain with the union. If that happens, the whole thing goes to the courts and could easily be a year or two before you even get the question of whether the employer is required to bargain with the union, Duff added. Labor experts say it's common for employers to drag out the bargaining process in an effort to take the momentum out of union campaigns. It's also possible that Apple or any other company restructures its business so that the unionized workers are reclassified as independent contractors and not employees, in which case the union vote is moot, Duff said. Apple declined to comment on Saturday's development. Company spokesperson Josh Lipton said by phone. Reached again Sunday, Apple did not comment. The successful vote serves to inspire workers around the country to organize, said John Logan, Director of Labor and Employment Studies at San Francisco State University. Workers are already organizing at other Apple stores, but this shows them that the company is not invincible, he says. Apple's well-known brand name is also likely to help. More after this on Arbitrage Weekend. Stick around.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Royce, you know I'm moving soon, and I've got a lot of toys.
Me too. Lots of toys.
I mean, I'm not talking, cars or knives or swords.
I have swords and cars and actually knives. Yeah.
I'm talking actual toys.
Like Legos?
I got Legos, man.
Okay. I like Legos.
We call them Lego. There is no plural.
It's if you have multiple sets, there are Legos.
Oh, there are Lego sets.
Whatever, man. Well, get a Erector set and,
So there's a cohort of shoppers in...
So wait, do you like Erector sets over Legos? Because I consider Erector sets to be more adult than Legos.
I've done Erector sets before.
They're definitely harder.
Also called Meccano. There's something, I can tell you that.
Hey, maybe next bonus will be a Duplo set.
Let's talk about that one. All right. So the reason why we're having this conversation is that there's a cadre of shoppers these days they call kidults.
Yes, adults that identify as adults but still love kids' toys.
Still loves kids' toys. For example, Razor scooters. Those small inline skate wheeled scooters that kids love. They're actually something that adults buy. I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's still a mode of transportation. We even see them parked downtown, right? I mean,
yeah. You're right. So they're marketing. Razor is marketing an adult-sized electric version of this scooter. It's going to sell for around $600. Congratulations for that.
Hey, if you can charge that much for a PlayStation, getting out there. Zoom, man, zoom.
Right? 2020, Lego launched a major marketing campaign called Adults Welcome and introduced a section on their website for older customers with items like the Lego Starry Night painting.
Nice.
Rembrandt?
No, that's Van Gogh.
Van Gogh, there we go.
I'm like, wait, I just went to that exhibit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's $170 though if you want to buy it in Lego. $400 for a Lego Technic Ferrari.
It's an investment, if you remember from our previous segment.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. We here at the office, we looked at a Lego bonsai tree. Only $50. Our chief accountant has the Lego flower set that just came out.
We invest in everything here.
Exactly. Hot Wheels made a remote-controlled Tesla Cybertruck. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Pretty cool.
I can't wait for the light bright. Giant room full of light brights.
That's a cool one. $100 will get you a light bright that's made for grown-ups and can be turned into wall art.
Like entire wall covered with light brights.
How cool is that?
And if it's all LED, it might even be affordable.
Yeah. So even things like tabletop games are growing in popularity again. During the pandemic, it was one of the biggest draws. So
it's called badminton.
I say long live the kidult. That's all I'm saying. So let's go to Target. I want some Legos.
Don't ever walk into Target. You're going to spend $100. You won't even realize it.
That's true. That is very true. More after this because I got to make some more money for more Legos.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Kellogg Company, the 116-year-old maker of Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies, Pringles, and Eggo, will split into 3 companies focused on cereals, snacks, and plant-based foods. Kellogg's, which also owns plant-based food brand Morningstar Farms, said Tuesday that the spinoff of the yet-to-be-named cereal and plant-based food companies should be completed by the end of next year. Kellogg's had net sales of $14.2 billion in 2021, with $11.4 billion generated by its snack division alone, which makes Cheez-Its, Pringles, and Pop-Tarts, among other brands. Cereal accounted for another $2.4 billion in sales last year, while plant-based sales totaled around $340 million. In a conference call with investors, CEO Steve Calhoun said separating the businesses will make them more nimble and better to focus on their own products. All 3 businesses have significant standalone potential, he said. Cereal will be solely dedicated to winning in cereal and not have to compete with resources against the high-growth snacking business, said Calhoun, a former Coca-Cola and AB InBev executive who joined Kellogg in 2017. Calhoun will become chairman and CEO of the global snacking company. The management team of the cereal company will be named later. The board of directors has approved the spinoffs. Shareholders will receive shares in the 2 spinoffs on a pro rata basis relative to their Kellogg holdings. Calhoun said Kellogg has been carefully evaluating its portfolio since 2018, when it announced a plan to shift its resources toward its highest growth categories like snacks. In 2019, Kellogg sold its cookie, pie crust, ice cream cone, and fruit business to the Ferraro Group. The pandemic put further changes on hold, but the company felt that the time for the spinoff was right as the company has returned to growth. Kellogg's net sales rose 3% in 2021. Kellogg has been sharpening its focus on fast-growing snacks for years. They now make up around 80% of the company's sales. Pringles sales jumped 13% between 2019 and 2021, for example, while Cheez-It sales were up 9%. But the prospects for cereal and plant-based meats are less clear. U.S. cereal sales have been waning for years as consumers move to more portable products like energy bars. They saw a brief spike during pandemic lockdowns when more people sat down for breakfast at home, but sales fell again in 2021. In the 52 weeks to May 38, U.S. cereal sales were flat, according to Nielsen IQ. Kellogg's cereal business was also rocked last year by a fire at a plant in Memphis, Tennessee, and by a 10-week strike by more than 1,000 workers at plants in 4 states. The strike ended after the company promised higher wages, enhanced benefits, and a quicker path to permanent employment for its temporary workers. In March, a few hundred other workers at a plant that makes Cheez-Its won a new contract with Kellogg, with 15% wage increases over 3 years. Kellogg said it will explore other options for its plant-based business, including a possible sale. Stick around for more right after this.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous, as in Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Josh, and I am here in the Arbitrage studio with somebody very special. I'd like you to meet Callie Goldsby.
Hello.
Who are you, Callie?
I am our senior accountant over here at Arbitrage. So happy we started out here in March. I'm enjoying it very much.
So what's your background?
I started off as a tax accountant and auditor in Nashville, working in public accounting for several years. Greatly enjoyed my time there and moved back to Memphis after the pandemic to get a different go about things. Greatly enjoyed being back in Memphis and had the opportunity to join our team over here and have loved it ever since.
That sounds pretty cool. So basically, you work with our accounts receivable, accounts payable, and that sort of thing?
Yes, and just make sure the books are tied together for our CEO, Royce, to get a clear view on our books and exactly how great we are doing every month.
And that dreaded T word.
Yes, taxes. And make sure everyone is filling out their applicable tax forms. So real interesting stuff.
You came here, you've done accounting before, you've done tax stuff before, and we like to get to know the person behind that. Who's your biggest inspiration?
Well, going back in my childhood specifically, I had the honor and privilege of knowing Edward Reddit, a civil rights activist and police detective in Memphis that was my cross-country coach and track coach, and was just a really great example of how to be awesome in your career and personally, and he's just a great influence on my life.
Also the first African-American police officer in Memphis, correct?
One of the first.
One of the first. One of the first. That's really awesome. Well, I know from talking to you that you have some pets at home and you like them, right?
Very much so. I am the owner of 2 cats that I've had for about 11 years now. They are awesome, and only thing I wish is that I could take them hiking and camping with me, because that is the other thing that you will catch me doing when I'm not in the office. When I take if I take a Friday off, I'm more than likely trying to go to elevation and views.
That sounds really cool. Also, you'll never see me out there. So, we deal with money here, and the question is, because we deal with a lot of money, you might come into a lot of money being here. What would you do with unlimited money if you had it?
Oh, unlimited money. First off, a big vacation for my huge family. Just to spend a bunch of time together, and I would think a car for each of them. That's probably about the first thing that I would want to do with unlimited money. And I would probably still show up here at Arbitrage, even despite having that money, to entertain myself with the mental stimulation that we get daily.
I think that's a running thread in just about everybody's interview that I said, is that we're happy to be at Arbitrage. Thank you for joining us today, Callie. If you want to know more about our staff, go to arbitragetrade.com. Take a look at some of our recent podcasts where we have interviews with the rest of the staff. And don't forget to go to arbitragetrade.org for free seminars and some great lessons. Have a great weekend otherwise.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, is a privately held market research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the content of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to be investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC, please visit arbitrage